In this video, I want to run through what you get when you download the Mockup Your Merch t-shirt mockups. Instead of trying to go through every little feature that makes up this product, I'm just going to mock up 4 of my own designs, and hopefully this will sort of organically show you what you can do with these mockups. So when you download the file and unzip the folder, you're going to have 2 Photoshop files. The front mockup and the back mockup. These are 2 matching files. They work exactly the same. So what I show you here in the front, the back option will work exactly the same. So jumping right into the front mockup here, you're gonna see this little kind of quick tip screen to help you get the best results possible. But to get started, all you have to do is hide this layer over here in the layer panel, and you can just jump right into mocking up your designs. So inside the file, you have a folder here for the shading. This is what makes up the mockup. You have the shadows, the highlights, and the color highlights. You won't really need to touch this for the most part, but you can go in and make little minor tweaks to get the exact look you're going for if you're needed. And then here you have the art folder. This is the main area where you just drag and drop in your art, position it on the t-shirt, and you're pretty much good to go. And then finally, there's a folder with a bunch of preset colors I have in here for you to help get you started. You can add your own colors, you can tweak these however you want, and also included is a heather and tri-blend texture. So to get started, I just want to quickly mock up a design for you to show you kind of how it works. So for this design, I want it to be on a white t-shirt. So if I hide the black color, make sure the white color layer is on. And then all I have to do next is go up, click into the art folder here, where your art goes, and all I'm going to do is drag and drop my art. So I'm going to rescale this and position it on the chest. So there is a layer here called Extra Art Detail. If you turn this on by clicking the little eye icon, you can see it sort of darkens the artwork here. So if I zoom in, you can kind of see what that does. It basically adds a t-shirt texture to it to help it look like it's actually printed on the shirt. This isn't always necessary, but it is an option here to help you give that look if you need it. So you can turn it on. If it's too much, you can lower the opacity a bit more. And that looks pretty good. And you might even want to take the art if it's a little too bright and bring the opacity down on that as well. Blend it into the shirt just a little bit. The more you kind of blend it in, like for this design in particular, it kind of helps it give a little bit more of a worn vintage kind of look. Here on the color folder, I also have a drop shadow effect, which is currently hidden. I usually don't use this, but it's here if you want it. So you can just click here to turn that on. You can also double click the drop shadow effect there to edit it. So you can make whatever adjustments you need here to get the look you want. So that looks pretty good, but you know, I usually don't use drop shadow, but again, it's here if you need it. So I'm just gonna turn that off. And I usually like to turn off the background to give it a transparent background, and then I save that off as a PNG file. And for this next design, let me turn the background back on. I want it to be on a tri-blend black t-shirt. So I'm going to turn the tri-blend layer on, and then I'm going to turn on black. So you're gonna see if I toggle this on and off, it's very hard to see this texture. So if I just click that, I can turn the opacity all the way up and bring that back. And I have the blending mode up here to overlay. The only options you need to worry about here if you're tweaking it is multiply, screen, and overlay. So if I quickly turn on, let's just do like a light pink color and turn on tri-blend, you can see that multiply basically shows the dark parts of the texture, screen shows the light parts of the texture, and overlay is a mix of both of those. So those are the 3 settings that you can play with to get the look you're going for. But for this specific design on the black shirt, overlay works best and turned up all the way on the opacity. So I'm gonna go back up into the art folder and I'm going to drop the artwork in. So now I can zoom in and see how this detail layer affects it. So let me turn up the opacity. You can see it sort of blends in a little bit more into the t-shirt, helps it give it a little bit of a texture so it doesn't just look like a straight flat image. You want this to look realistic. So I'll turn it on and off. I think it needs to be down a little bit. And it is still a little too vibrant. So I'm just going to click the art layer and bring the opacity down. So you can see the main things that you need to do is drag your art in, select your color, and then you just kind of have to mess with the opacity to kind of blend the art onto the t-shirt as best as possible to get the look that you want. Another quick thing I want to show you is you can add in some sleeve art. So let me go ahead and drag the logo in here. So then if I rotate it and put it on the sleeve, and this is automatically masked onto the t-shirt. So let me show you, like if it's on a black background, you can see that it's masked within the shirt here. So I may even, again, change the opacity of this to help blend it in. Okay, so moving on to the next design, I want this to be on a heather gray t-shirt. So let me go ahead and just hide this art, turn off the tri-blend, and I have a heather gray color down here. So if I just turn that on and turn on the heather layer, you can see it becomes a heather gray t-shirt. For this shirt, I might want the heather gray to be a little bit lighter. So if you just double click the color thumbnail here, you can pick whatever color you want. But I just want this to be a little bit lighter heather gray. And then go up here, maybe make the heather texture a little bit more drastic. So clicking into the art folder, I'm just going to drag and drop my art. Scale it down. Let me zoom in here, look at the art details again, see if it's needed. I think it definitely does benefit from that. That looks pretty good. So that is a quick example of how you can have a heather gray t-shirt using the heather texture with just a gray color underneath it. And on this next design, I want to show you kind of how you can use the front and back option here for like a tour t-shirt for a band. So I'm going to turn off the art, and this is just going to be on a black cotton t-shirt. So turning on the black, hiding the heather or tri-blend texture, going into the art folder, I'm going to drag and drop the art. Now that I have the tour art on the front here, I would save this off. And now I want to add the back option to it. So opening up the back mockup, hiding the little tutorial screen, I have the black t-shirt, black color on, there's no texture to it. So into the art folder, drag in the back dates, and position it where I'd like on the t-shirt. And I may want to adjust the opacity a little bit, turn on this extra art detail, and that looks pretty good. So then I would again save this off, and I could combine these two files side by side if I wanted to get the full effect of what the front and back of this t-shirt product would look like. Hopefully by walking through a bunch of different scenarios of mocking up my own designs, it has basically taught you everything you need to know about how to use these mockups. They're super versatile. The possibilities are endless with all of the simple features I've packed these mockups with. But if you still have any unanswered questions on how to do something, feel free to shoot me a direct email or message, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and I hope you enjoy this mockup.